Connections with people come and go. This is something that's been on my mind recently because when we think about our life, when we think about the people that we meet in our life, there are certain people that make a profound impact on our life. These are people who, they could be enemies, they could be people who just become friends, or they could be people who are love interests or romantic partners, things along those lines. So just think about some of the people in your life that you have met, and they have made a huge impact, like something just seems very different about them. They seem very unique, very different from most people. And you know what I'm talking about here. So, I have had this happen to me so many times, and I'm noticing something interesting among all of them that I would like to kind of talk about a bit here, because I feel as though I'm going on to like a new phase here of my life, that there's more clarity to a lot of these situations. A lot of things are becoming much more clear to me. I'm able to understand things on a much deeper level than I ever have before. So just things along those lines that are really making a huge impact on my overall interpretation of other people. So these types of people I tend to call soulmates or twin flames. They don't have to be romantic in nature, but I've talked about some of these people before in the past in my other videos, where like how it all began really. I've noticed people, like strange occurrences, strange events that you can just tell people about. It's like something strange happens, something weird happens, something profound happens. It's almost like a miracle happens in some sort of way. But it could be something negative and bad, because some of the initial people that I met, back in like early 2010 or so, okay? So I was in my early 20s at that time. These were more destructive people. These were people who were more of a negative influence, who were doing negative things. And it's interesting because these were some people that I met on, actually most people I mostly meet online. Not everyone, but most of them. So this is still, back 15 years ago from the time that I'm recording this here. Meeting people online, and it's interesting. I have a brief conversation with this person in like messages. Never meet this person, never talk with this person, nothing. It's very negative, it's very destructive, but it was the most insane experience that I had experienced like in my life up to that time. Very weird, very bizarre, made for, a lot of interesting stories, to say the least. But it was very negative, but it had a profound impact on me, because it allowed me to overcome some of the challenges that I was facing at the time. Some of the weird behavior that I had my mindset in. I was like trapped. And mind you, some of these, I'm going to talk about the progression here, but that is person number 1, okay? Destructive, not good, not positive. But then we move on to like the next person. Again, another profound experience where I actually meet this person and there's like a romantic, type of connection there. Very, very brief, very, very minor, and then I really don't ever hear from this person again after a brief period of time and whatever. But it's like, okay, this was like more profound than the first situation. It's like, that's very interesting. But with that severing of ties with this person, not really hearing about them, not really hearing from them anymore, just all of a sudden, it allowed me to overcome abandonment issues or other problems that I had related to people, like being so suspicious of people. Because I was way more suspicious of people prior to this person. Now, mind you, I was still suspicious and still not really trusting after, but it had lessened a lot. And I was able to trust a bit more, in addition to overcoming the abandonment issues. Okay? So a lot of those problems had been resolved. So that's like 2 people now, and you see the first person, destructive, bad, didn't meet them, nothing. Second person, a bit more profound. And then the third person was even more profound. You know, there was a much more intense romantic connection there. This was someone who I was able to be very close with. You know, so this is something that it was even more profound, and it lasted even longer. And that is the most interesting thing, because each of these things, they're lasting longer and longer as I progress through here. You see? So this person lasted longer than, you know, all the other people. They were in my life for a lot longer. They made a much more profound impact on my life, allowing me to overcome a lot of problems, and then ultimately going towards a place of how it ended up ending was, okay, these are the problems that I need to tackle and face here in order to move on to the next phase. So now where I am now in my life, I feel as though I'm venturing into another area here where there are some people that I've met that are very, it's like the situation is so weird and bizarre of how things happened, that for one person in particular, it's like my intuition is very heightened, where I could sense everything that they were doing. Another person, I was also very in tune, but it's also a very complex, and I'm not understanding the situation at all. Like, I'm listening to my intuition. I'm trying to pay attention to the details of the situation, what this person's doing, but it's like I can't read them. So I have one person that I can read very, very easily. Most people I can read them very easily. I know what they're doing. I know what they're up to. I know what they're all about. So with this one person I met, I had suspicions. I was thinking things, but I was rationalizing them. It's like, okay, let me not be paranoid or suspicious. I'll be optimistic. But then I turned out to be right with all the things that I was thinking. So it's like, I'm going to trust my intuition. The other person, I have never met someone that I've never been able to really read like this. It's like, so I'm having a hard time understanding who this person is. And there's like so many things that seem like profound impact with this person. It's like there's something about this person in particular that is very important and special, and even like a lot of the things I'm getting is like something related to my destiny, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense because the actions of the individual don't add up to what this is saying. But at the same time, some of my other thoughts come in. It's like, okay, no, this person shouldn't be treating me this way or saying these things, and it should not be, you know, that person should not be in my life and everything. So I'm just at this point, very confused about the situation. But again, this is someone who's someone who's made a very profound impact on my life already, and I've never met them. I have not done any sort of like real-time chatting with them, like video call. I've heard their voice. I've done like audio messages and everything, and I've seen pictures of who they are. But it's like, I'm just wondering, is this like the next person in my journey? And I guess if it is, that means that compared to the previous person, that they would have an even more profound impact on my life for a lot longer. So if the very first negative person was like, okay, just a few months, and then it's like negative, bad, bleh. Second person, let's say maybe like a year, a little better, much better, but then it's like, Third person, many, 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 many years, very close, very intense, and then now this person, could it be decades? Could it be something that's even more profound? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, and it's so conflicting within my mind because I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. And maybe that's not something that I need to do. Maybe I just need to go with the flow of whatever it is that's going to happen and not try to force anything, because you can't force anything. But it's like when this sort of stuff happens, you just develop this sort of interest of wanting to know this person more, wanting to understand them on a deeper level. But then it's like when they don't reciprocate the same way, it's like these are things that I'm going to have to deal with, because it's like if I am expecting something in return of something that I project, I want them to give to me equally. That's not necessarily always the case of what's going to happen. It's going to be different scenarios that end up happening. So I just have to be patient about this and just see where it ends up happening, if anything does. But I've noticed like there's some sort of, with both of these people, okay, but one of them I can read very easily, and there's certain circumstances that are just like, bud, ain't gonna happen, okay? I ain't even gonna meet you due to the circumstances that you're in, bud, okay? But it's still a very close person, you know what I mean? So the other person, I don't know. It's like a total a mystery, and it's like I don't understand. And it's like I've never really experienced that sort of thing to this a degree before. So I don't know. I guess we will see what ends up happening. It's very interesting. It really is. So I'm really curious to know what your thoughts are on this matter. If you've had any people who have made this profound impact. I don't really consider like family and stuff, because family is, yes, they have profound impact on you, but it's different from meeting someone outside of your family through random circumstances. You know, something as simple as, oh, you bump into someone at the store and you begin some sort of conversation, and then it's like, you know, intense stuff. Well, no, you know, stuff like that. We're talking about things that are very unique, things that are very different from normal conversation, normal ways of meeting. It doesn't always have to be the case, but just different circumstances than what you would normally think about when it comes to meeting people and connecting with them. So just curious to know what your thoughts are when it comes to these people. So you all take care, have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.